In the previous we said Atrayam Purusha Swayam Jyotihi. In dream, one is self-shining, means one is independently conscious. One is a conscious being and independently. And that light, in that light one lives, one experiences, and that light alone is one's essence. Okay. So he quoted few mantras from elsewhere. Those mantras also mean the same thing. He deadens the body, means he makes the body lifeless. He takes away the consciousness from the body, leaving the body lifeless, leaving the body unconscious. Swapnena shariram abhiprahatya asuptas suptan abhichakashi. But himself doesn't sleep. The consciousness, conscious Atma doesn't sleep. It withdraws the consciousness from the body and makes the body unconscious, deadens it, kills it, makes it dead. But himself is not dead. Himself is continuously awake. Asuptaha. He doesn't sleep. Doesn't sleep means doesn't lose his consciousness. It is there, intact. Suptana vichakashiti. He is aware of others who have no consciousness. Shukramadaya punareti sthanam. Again, he comes back to the again his previous state of waking. Okay, next mantra pranena, same thing. Bahishkulayam. Kulayam means this nest. Body is like a nest. He leaves this body, this nest, goes out of this body, and amrutaha. When he leaves this body, he becomes free from birth and death. It is through the body he comes to have birth and death. Through the body, through his identification with the body, he comes to have birth and death. When he is free from the body, detaches from the body, he is free from birth and death. Therefore, in the 12th mantra, pranena rakshan avarankulayam bahishkulayat amrutascharitva. He moves out of the body as an immortal one, as a deathless one. Iyate amruto yatra kamam hiran. That's over. In the next 13th mantra, in dream he sees many things. Uchchavacham iyamana. High and low. Many things high and low he sees there. Swapnanta uchchavachamiyamanaha rupani deva kurute bahuni. He sees many things. A few of them he gives as an example. Like he goes with his woman, goes to the park, or what is that, beach or park, and picnics and dances, laughs, chats with people, laughs with people. So, and also sometimes he suffers, and sometimes he is afraid of certain things. Idea is both good and bad, pain and pleasure, happy and sorrow, both he experiences. Bhayani pashyan. Thus, all this he sees. The purpose is not to explain what all he sees. That he is alive, he is conscious, whatever are there, he happens to see them. The idea is, whatever are present in the dream, he happens to see them. His seeing, his being conscious is important. Our attention is on that. That Atma is Chaitanyam. Atma is conscious even in dream. In dream there may be many things, but all of them he is aware of as consciousness only, not as an identified one, not as a part of them, but standing apart from them. Standing apart from them, apart from the dreamy events, dreamy experiences. He doesn't identify with them, doesn't undergo, doesn't get affected by them. He remains just a neutral witness, detached witness. Okay, in the next mantra, 14th, 2 or 3 points are there. I think we were discussing the 14th some part. Aramamatra pashyanti natam pashyanti kaschana. This is a very good, interesting vakyam, interesting statement. There you see lot of aramam, all play. He sees a lot of play. See, in dream people see only his objects of enjoyments. Generally when people are asked to watch dream, look at the dream, when you are asked to look at the dream, what they see in the dream is only various objects of enjoyments, activity and all. But they miss, unfortunately, what is most important is it is you who are watching all these things. In dream, people see only his objects of enjoyment, but nobody sees him who is different from all this and watching it. Who is different from all this activity, all these objects of dream, as a witness of it. These people miss it. Is very unfortunate thing that people miss it. Therefore, Upanishad is pointing out. Pay attention to that. In fact, to bring your attention to only that Atma, Swayam Prakasha Atma, Swayam Jyoti Atma, all this teaching is. Otherwise, dream themselves, they know the dream, but how to examine and how to discover the conscious Atma is the teaching of Upanishad. Dream we know, waking we know, deep sleep we know, but we don't know how to examine and we don't know how to discover the right thing. So discover the right thing, Upanishad comes here. In the part of the same thing, next part of the same mantra, one more he gives a common man's thinking. There is a saying in the people, lay people know why Atman is beyond the body. Lay people also know. In Chandogya, in Brahadaranyaka, he quotes one more thing. Common people say, when a person is sleeping, he is in Brahman. He has attained Brahma Swarupam. Common people say, Sushupti, he is Brahma Swarupam. This also Upanishad quotes somewhere. Among the common people, this is very familiar. Even in my childhood, I was taught that when you go to sleep, you will go to God. God means, I used to think there is a temple in our village, just next to my house, where I was born, next to house. So that is a Hanuman's mandir and Shiva's mandir also. Hanuman, Shiva and all that. So, since you go, my elder brother would say, that's why when you wake up in the morning, you don't wake up early. My elder brother would say, however number of times you try, you don't wake up early. Oh, then I used to think, true, my Atma must have gone to that temple, because we go to the, that is a child's thinking, must have gone to the temple. So when this brother wakes me up, I take little time, few seconds, at least a half minute to come back from the temple, then I'll wake up. This is what I used to think. But this only shows that among the lay people, there is a belief that in deep sleep you attain the Atma. So this point elsewhere quotes in Brahadaranyaka and Chandogya. But here, this is says, one more point is there. Among the common people, there is one more belief. Don't violently, suddenly or violently wake up a person. This is also interesting. See, they means common people say, nobody should suddenly or violently awaken a person, awaken a sleeping Atman. Don't violently, suddenly wake him up. Because with a sudden jolt, what happens? Whichever sense organ, if this Atman does not reach, because in sleep, Atma withdraws from the sense organs and withdraws from the body. Atma withdraws from the body, withdraws from the sense organs and lives as he is. As he is pure witnessing consciousness. Now when you wake up, what should happen? The consciousness should come back to the body, to illumine the body, and also it should come and take position. Like the military people, you say, you order them, stand at ease and they will stand. Okay? You ask them, come on, take your position. They will go and each one go to their places, the door, somebody at the door, somebody at somewhere else. So they have to go and take their position. So the consciousness should go to, should reach each sense organ, eyes, ears, and both karmendriya and jnanendriya. Karmendriya also. In all the organs of action and organs of knowledge, it should reach various sense organs and it illuminate. When it reaches and illuminates, that sense organ becomes awake. That's what we call that we are awake. We are awake in the waking state only when each of the sense organ wakes up. Body also becomes conscious. So, but in deep sleep what happens? You are not conscious of the body. You are not conscious of the sense organs. That's why eyes don't see. Ears don't hear. The sense of touch. The skin doesn't touch, doesn't feel heat or cold or anything. So, Atma detaches, gets detached from the body and sense organ. So, common people say, don't wake him up violently with a jolt. If it does, what happens? When Atma tries to come back, in a haste, it tries to come back. In that haste, if it fails to come to one particular sense organ, that sense organ goes dumb. Sense organ fails to function. Therefore, if this Atman does not reach, he will lose that sense organ. The eyes you may lose, ears you may lose. If not completely losing, at least a little deafness may come, a little bit of deafness. If the consciousness doesn't reach ears, you may lose your ear and become deaf. And it becomes such a big damage that it becomes an irreparable durbishajjam bhavati. Durbishajjam hi asmai bhavati yamesha na pratipadyate. If consciousness doesn't reach that particular sense organ, that sense organ becomes incapacitated and irreparable. That sense organ fails. It fails to function and it becomes irreparable. You take to doctor, they can't say that you have woken him up so violently, no medicine can work, no medicine can correct him. This is what this. So this is a common man's thinking. In common man's thinking, partly right, partly wrong, that's different. It may not be true totally, but one point is true, that consciousness is, they believe one thing, that consciousness is beyond the body and sense organ. When you wake up, consciousness comes back. This much is right, remaining may be right or wrong, you leave them. Remaining may be right or wrong, but this one point is true, that consciousness withdraws from the body and sense organs and remains, and when we wake up, comes back. If body and sense organs were you, if body consciousness and sense organs were the real Atma, you would not have detached yourself from the body. You would not have been able to detach yourself from the sense organs. Body and sense organs should have been with you all the time. Are they present all the time with us? So, only during waking, but at some time we leave them. That leaving proves that consciousness is independent. It is not true. It is not in the form of sense organ. It is not in the form of the body. The form of body, form of sense organs are left out. Atma remains purely Swayam Prakasha. Next point. I think up to this we have already discussed. I am just revising. Atho khalvahu jagarita deshe eva asya eshaha iti. Even in Upanishad Purvapaksha Siddhanta, question and answer, objection and reply. Even in Upanishad also raises an objection. Somebody says, Atho Kalvahu. Some people say, this dream takes place in waking state only, not outside waking state. When you dream, you don't go away from waking state. You are in the waking state alone. You are in the sense organs and the body. What he means to say is, you are with the body and with the sense organ. You are not free from it. So that means like a daydreaming, like in your sitting in your waking alone, you dream. Does it ever happen? Sometimes people sleep. I am told in Bombay trains, it is so much jam-packed. What is that? Thana is outside. From Thana to Churchgate or that VT station. That is a long journey, because in Bombay is only like this, only belt alone. This side east and west. So there is only trains alone move up and down. So only one belt. Trains go and up and down. So there it is so heavily crowded that continuously here one person, here one person, here one person only touching your body. So they hold some kind of a rod, iron rod is there, they hold belt. Sometimes they don't need even to hold it also. I said they hold it, and in that thing they sleep. In standing position they sleep. They told me. I too traveled by train, but they told me that they sleep. I say, how can they sleep in a standing position? They say they sleep. It's a long journey, 2 hours journey. Then what can you do? Morning they start and reach their office after 2 hours. So they sleep in that standing position. Some people sleep in the sitting position that I have experienced myself. As I told you once in a meditation class, all people were sitting. Early morning they are made to wake up 4 o'clock and take with a warm water bath. Early morning they sleep, they wake up generally 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock, we don't know. 4 o'clock if you wake up, that is a prime sleeping time of the people. And you wake him up and give a good warm water, and also take some kind of a warm drink also. Warm drink they drink, warm water bath, and switch off the light and made them to sit silent. There is a pin drop silence. What a comfortable time for sleep. It's a very conducive atmosphere for sleeping. Sitting position, they were snoring. They were snoring in the meditation class. Now Swamiji told, hey, let never wake him up. Then he has to wake him up. People were snoring. I have witnessed myself that how a person can sleep and snore even in sitting position. Then I believed that it is possible that people can snore even in standing position. Even in standing position they can snore. Therefore, so he says, this Purvapakshi says, that this dream happens in waking state alone. That means you can sleep in waking state. You can dream in waking state alone. Replies, Yajnavalkya replies, no. Yani sheva jagrati pashyati tani supta sanniti. He says, whatever we see in the waking, same thing you see in the dream. Therefore, things are happening in waking only. Waking objects, waking events that you see, same thing you carry and see there. That shows you are only simply transferring to another place. It is the same events you are transferring to another place. So dream is only another way of waking only. Another town, another city. It is like you have a house and furniture and etc. Your own laptop and computer, everything, cell phone. You shift your house. What happens? Your cell phone, laptop, I think your clothes also will go to the another town. Same clothes, same vehicle, even same car, same scooter also will go. Only you shift to the town, but you remain the same. Everything same. Similarly, in the waking events, waking objects, you are shifting to another place and seeing. It is another place of waking only. Another spot, another town of waking only you are calling dream. You think it is a dream, it is only another town of waking only. This is what Purvapakshi says, the objector. The objection says, it is in another town of waking only. He replies, no. Atra kintu, it is not true. Atrayam purusha swayam jyotihi. 14th mantra? Yeah. We are reading about this. He says, no, it is not true. Tad asatu indriyoparamat uparatesh. What you say is a misreading, misunderstanding. You have not properly examined your waking and dream states. You watch your dream state properly, examine properly. Indriyoparamat, Indriya Uparama is clearly there. With this same body, living in the same body, you are not dreaming. In your dream consciousness, there is no body. In your dream consciousness, there are no sense organs. With these same senses, you are not watching the dream. These senses you leave off. You leave off these senses, and with your consciousness alone you see. And third thing is, the objects you see them, uparateshu indriyeshu swapnan pashyati tasman nanyasya jyotishas tatra sambhavo asti. There is no room for other consciousness except the Atma's consciousness. Other light, there is no room for other light, like the sun, moon, star, and no external light has any chance to stay in your dream. People may say, he has carried torchlight to his dream world, therefore he is seeing it. I know he has some micro torchlight he has borrowed or he has stolen to the dream, therefore he is able to see. All that doesn't work because all that is not true. No chance, no possibility of carrying any external light into dream. Dream itself is a light, independent light. So, two things. One is neither body nor sense organs are present in dream. Waking body, waking sense organs you leave off. Unless you lose conscious of the waking body, you cannot dream. Is it possible to dream with your body consciousness? With this waking body's consciousness? With the bodily consciousness, you cannot dream. Dream starts the moment you drop your consciousness of the waking body. And then your sense organs also have to be withdrawn. Your sense organs don't function. Then only you are in dream. If you are awake, if you are conscious of this external world, you can't dream. By being conscious of the external world, can you say you are in dream? Does it ever happen that you are in dream even while watching these things and these people touching and feeling all those things? No, you can't. Body consciousness should go away. Therefore, indriya uparamat, uparateshu cha indriyeshu swapnan pashyati. He sees the swapna only after detaching from the body and sense organs. Not only body and sense organs you give up. World also, it is not the same world you see there. Already we discussed, since somebody is raising an objection, again is a reply. This reply was given already. Objects also. What are the dream objects? Are they the same waking objects you carry there? How did you carry? You carry the waking objects into dream by which truck? Tell me. Is there a truck to carry, or which ship or which plane you have carried all these waking objects and arranged there, set them properly and then start dreaming? Did you carry them? Or did your friend carry with you? Nobody. Your friend also won't come. Your waking friend remains in waking alone. You can't carry your waking friend, your waking, no friend, nobody. However intimate your beloved, you can't carry into your dream. You may have other friends there, other friends, other beloved in dream, but these people won't come there. Therefore, na tatra rathaha na ratha yogaha iti, the mantra has a previous mantra, has already clarified that there are no chariots, no horses, no roads, no things, yet he sees all of them. It shows he is only creating new ones. Creating means whether he creates dream objects or not is not the point here. Whether he creates a new objects in dream, does he really create is not the point. They are not the waking objects, that's important. The dream objects are not the same as the waking objects. One. Second point is, dream objects appear as if object, they are not objects. See, appearance alone, like a reflection in a mirror, is not a person. You see as if there is a person, as if you may see a tree in the mirror, but there is no tree. There is no tree. There is an appearance of tree, a semblance of tree. Similarly, in dream there are only appearances, there are no objects. Okay. Swayam Jyotiratma Stiti Swapna Nidarshanena Pradarshitam. So we have shown sufficiently Swapna Nidarshanena, by the example of Swapna, by Nidarshanam means, how do you say? It's not a example, no. Nidarshanam is example, but here it's not example. If dream is an example for what? Dream is not shown here as an example for something. Dream itself is to be understood. Nidarshanam means a direct evidence, direct experience, that's all. It is a direct experience of dream. The Sapna Nidarshanena, by pointing out the dream experience, that's all. Nidarshanam don't take literally. As I told you, Brahadaranyaka, every word you have to change the meaning. It's a highly symbolic language. In future mantras also same thing. In every mantra you have to change many words, different meanings you have to take of every word. All Brahadaranyaka is like that, symbolic. Even Aurobindo, when he criticizes Shankaracharya, he says, he criticized, but when it comes to Brahadaranyaka Bhashya, he says Shankaracharya, who is predominantly a logical thinker, less of a mystic thinker, he says, according to him. Less of a mystic thinker, he is a more of a logical thinker. Even such a Shankaracharya has done highly, admirably well when it comes to Brahadaranyaka Upanishad, he says. When it comes to Brahadaranyaka Upanishad, full of symbols, full of mystic language, but he decoded that symbolic language and mystic language of Brahadaranyaka admirably well, he says. Who criticized, you have to see, in order to find a goodness of a person, you read his appreciation of his enemies only. Enemy generally doesn't appreciate. He criticizes. Even he criticizes what he thinks as wrong, and some places helplessly you have to praise him, because it is so evident, so self-evident that in this point he is admirably well. He cannot withhold his appreciation. In spite of his criticism elsewhere, in this place he has to appreciate. He says he has done admirably well. And that too, such a logical thinker like Shankaracharya, he talked like a mystic here. He decoded the lot of symbol. Whole Brahadaranyaka is full of symbols, and he has admirably done well. So even a what to say, critic, common critic, normal general critic, Aurobindo generally criticizes only Shankara. All the time he criticizes. And even such a critic also has to appreciate. There was no way. He had to appreciate. Therefore here, in Shankaracharya is expert in both, in Upasana Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Upasana, lot of mystic, symbolic ideas are present. Shankaracharya sufficiently explains. He has got a sufficient depth in all these things. In mysticism means in upasanas. In upasana, the symbolic language also he unravels, and jnana also he does. But one more thing, Shankara is only logical, he is talking. People think that Shankaracharya is only good at logic. Most of the people, almost all the critics say Shankaracharya is very good at logic. Unfortunately, even Advaitins also say Shankaracharya is a good logician. But I tell you, Shankaracharya's logic is only common sense logic, nothing great in it. His logic is based upon Anubhava, continuously referring to Anubhava. See, it looks logical because he is very invincible. That means any argument he easily refutes and his argument wins. Any argument you bring, he instantly, easily refutes, and ultimately his argument wins. So in winning an argument with his own argument, where does his strength lie? You mean the logic is his strength or anubhava is his strength? Anubhavanusara yukti. His strength is not logic, but in a way logic, but that logic is based upon anubhava. Anubhavanusara yukti, a logic pointing out an anubhava, a universal experience. Therefore, that argument nobody able to do. If general argument you can have argument is only an intelligent way of talking. A more intelligent will bring in another argument. You go to the lawyers, they present a criminal as an innocent and innocent as a criminal. In order to test it, I think somebody should show this real face of liars. I think if I was not a sannyasi, I would have become a journalist and exposed all these people. I had a very liking for this journalism. I'll give you one idea for somebody. One case is going on, for example. One fellow is on a criminal side, another fellow is an innocent victim side. The argument is going on for a few days together. They come in the middle of the argument, means they come to the case has come to a halfway. At that time, change the lawyers. Both are intelligent lawyers. This lawyer who is arguing on behalf of a criminal, change him to victim side. And the victim lawyer, change him to this side. You see them how they talk. What all he argued so far, he himself will refute his own arguments. And he will say that the same criminal lawyer, when he goes to that side, he says he is a criminal only. All those arguments he reverses. So this is his cleverness of his. In argument, in logic, what lies is cleverness. They think Shankaracharya is a good logician. That means a clever man. Shankaracharya's teaching depends not much on his cleverness, but much on his reference to Anubhava. Pointing out directly Anubhava. That is important, not his cleverness. In argument, it is your cleverness counts. You look at the lawyers. The same lawyer who was arguing on behalf of a criminal, trying to say he was not criminal at all. Open evidence, you bring him, show him the sword and the photo and everything. And even then he changes it. Recently some case came. Somebody was telling in Holiness for Hari, you have seen that. Hari was telling his relative it happened. The fellow has paid money for the land. He paid the money and he says that now you give my land. He was buying land, paid the amount which he wanted. He paid the money and he after receiving the money, that fellow did not pay, give away his land. So he has to go to the court. He says, I paid the money and this thing. And now you know how the lawyer argues. And he says, I don't remember the argument. He says he has taken a signature. See, he paid the money and put the signature and gave the receipt. And he says, yes, he signed it, yet he did not take money. Then argument, see. Yeah, he thought he would take it, but he signed it, but he didn't take it. This is cleverness in logic. There is no fact. Logic, there are two kinds of logic. Logic is based upon anubhava, based upon facts. Logic based upon cleverness, twisting of it. You twist the right as a wrong and wrong. You try to present right as a wrong and wrong as a right. Same criminal you defend in such a way that he is innocent. You present that he is an innocent. Even if you show the evidence, he says that he was holding the knife for something else. He is angry, shouting. You can see him. But he is shouting for something else. What do you say? Everything you twist. This is called cleverness in argument. That is called logic. Logic means cleverness in your argument. They say Shankaracharya is very logical. It is true, but his logic, the strength of his logic doesn't depend upon his cleverness, but the anubhava. Therefore, however clever you are, you fail when it comes to facts. All others got defeated because all of us are very clever. You see the Buddhas, Nayayikas, Mimamsakas, Sankhya, everybody is highly clever, they got lot of arguments. But when it comes to Shankaracharya, he defeated all their arguments. Since he defeated their arguments, they think that Shankaracharya is a better logician, more cleverer person. Shankaracharya defeated their arguments not on account of his cleverness. Their arguments are clever. Even the clever argument got defeated because of his anubhava only. He points out the universal fact, universal anubhava, which nobody can deny. Everybody has to surrender. So Shankaracharya's strength is universal experience. He points out that. He points out how your argument is applicable to given context alone. Take a larger experience, your argument fails to apply. Your argument applicable in a given context, a narrower context, a smaller context. Then Shankaracharya points out a larger anubhava, vyapaka anubhava. In larger anubhava, the same argument fails to apply. Therefore, your argument goes wrong. That's all his strength is, not cleverness. Anubhava, larger anubhava, vyapaka anubhava, that is his strength. These people fail to understand. Therefore, Aurobindo also told, such a logical thinker like Shankara has proven his admirable mystic thinking, mystic understanding. He praises there. So he himself thought that he is a logical thinker. Okay. Logic means what? I have to explain, therefore I have to spend 5 minutes wasted on this. What is logical thinking? Every word has to be explained because people have their own imaginations. Argument means logical thinking. Logical means what? Cleverness. Leaving out the experience, the same event you look from another angle and twist it. Look from another angle and twist it. Anubhava is same. Put it in a wrong angle, wrong context and interpret it differently. But why take a wrong angle? Take a wrong context, wrong angle. The same event, you put it in a wrong context, in a different context, it means different. They say, Shankaracharya doesn't put imaginary contexts. They will put imaginary context so that the same event, same argument means different thing. This is called twisting. This is called cleverness. This is called argument or logic. Therefore, there is Brahma Sutra, there is one sutra, Tarka Pratishthanat. Tarka cannot decide, logic cannot decide because it is indecisive. Logic is only an instrument, it can be used either way. It is a double-edged weapon. Double-edged weapon, it can be used either way. So logic itself doesn't determine a fact. Logic doesn't determine a fact because it can be used either way. Brahma Sutra, there is one sutra like this. Therefore, Shankaracharya's strength lies not in cleverness, not in clever argument, but in a factual argument. Argument referring to the fact, based upon the fact, factual argument. That is his strength. Therefore, he wins. Anybody wins with that alone. Because nobody can deny fact is a fact. You can't twist the fact. You may twist in an a given event can be twisted by presenting an imaginary context or an out of context. Imaginary context. You take it from another angle, another context, then the meaning looks different, it gives a different meaning. But you come to the fact, you can't twist it. You can't twist it. You show the broader context of anubhava. The context is a larger anubhava. All your arguments fail. Ultimately, what is a determinant? Fact or anubhava is a determinant. That's why Shrutyanusari, this point even our Advaitins missed it. It is Satchidananda Swamiji who discovered it. Logic means, they thought logic means only common logic alone. That's why post-Shankarites have indulged logic so much into logic that ultimately Vedanta has become another Shastra of logic only. Another logic Shastra. Another scripture of logic alone. You see the post-Shankarites arguments, like another logic Shastra. It is Satchidananda Swamiji, found in the Bhashyas and found in his Anubhava. He says Shankaracharya never indulged in simple logic. He referred factual logic alone based upon facts. For this, he found certain statements of Shankaracharya in his Bhashya. Shrutyanugrihita tarkaha, anubhavanga tarkaha. These are the words Shankaracharya repeatedly uses. Shruti anugrihita tarka, a logic graced, blessed by, offered by Shruti, granted by Shruti, or a logic based upon Anubhava. These two words he found repeatedly Shankara. And for this, not only Shankaracharya used this word, immediately after this, he has given two examples also. He has given two examples for doing manana, factual logic, logic based upon Anubhava. For example, he gives two examples of Avastatraya Viveka. He gives clearly. Oh, then Swamiji understood when Shankaracharya says a logic, he means Anubhavanusari Tarka, Anubhava based Tarka. For that he gives his own example of Avastatraya Viveka, Karyakarana Viveka. Then it is very clear, it is not normal logic. It is not logic based upon your cleverness. It is based upon simple facts, open facts, larger fact. A smaller fact, a limited area fact can be defeated by a larger fact, a larger area. Take the Anubhava's larger chunk of your Anubhava. In the larger chunk, the smaller one gets defeated. It means applicability to a smaller area. What applies to smaller area, it gets defeated when you take a larger area. It fails to apply. Just like a shirt all the time looks with me, but it is not all the time present. At some point you change the cloth. It looks that body is all the time with me in all my experience. In all means what? Whatever experience you have with the body, in all those experiences, body is useful. Through body you can have few experiences. You say body is all the time present, body is Atma. Because body is present in all my experiences, inevitably it is present, therefore body is myself. In these things you are taking only those experiences which can be had, which you can have with body only. You are taking only context of those experiences alone which you can have through the body, and therefore you say body is present in all my experiences, therefore body is the Atma. Body is all the time present, therefore body is the Atma. Here what is required? How to defeat it? Not simple argument is not enough. Take a larger context. Means take a larger experience. There are certain other experiences of you where your body is not required. Without the body you can have an experience. Your experience is larger, body disappears, body is left out. Then you say body is not a part of you. This is a simple taking a larger Anubhava. They think is cleverly arguing. There is no cleverness. It's only touching a larger experience. Vaster experience, you take it, more comprehensive, vaster experience in which without the body you have an experience. That means body is not necessary for experience. You have an experience independent of the body. Means Atma is independent of the body. Body is not a part of you, essential part of you, necessary part of you. You can leave out the body and exist. Oh, that's a thing. People say it is a cleverness. Is it logic or is it only Anubhava? However number of times I tell in the class, people again say logic, Shankara is clever in logic this. Then today I have to explain all this detail. It's not cleverness in logic, it is Anubhava. Okay. Even I am not intelligent, I am not so great, so intelligent. Because if you argue, I also cannot argue with people in logic. It is only Anubhava, it is only Shruti. On that strength I talk. Otherwise, even I cannot win an argument just with cleverness. I am not a good lawyer, good debater. There are some good debaters. Have you seen them? Very good debaters. They make very good debaters because of their intelligence, clever. They know how to twist. You take argument in one way, the same from your own argument, they look at from another angle and say that you are wrong. We are surprised that how does he think like that? All that is cleverness. A clever person wins, that's all. So it's not an argument, okay? So, mrityo rupani natatra ratha ratha yoga. Here we are taking directly anubhava. There is not much logic. A little bit of logic based upon anubhava. Okay. So, mrityo rupani. Not only body is not there, sense organs are not there in dream, even the objects are imagined. Imagined means not taken from outside. You are no doubt seeing certain objects, but they are not real objects. What is the difference whether objects are real or imagined? Objects are objects. See, this again is a clever argument. This is a clever argument. People say, how can you answer? Let him be however clever. We go by Anubhava. I tell you, I am not clever. I only refer it to Anubhava. I found it's a fault, therefore I find out. I point out this is the mistake. I am not clever, I am not intelligent, I tell you. Now he says, in dream also there is a world, whether imaginary world or real world, what difference does it make? World is a world. See, he twisted it now. He twisted it. He's ignoring the differences and calls it a generalization, it is a world. This generalization, ignoring the real difference, generalization is cleverness. And if you want to defeat only by argument, you fail. Oh my God, what he says is true. How can we answer? You think that you are unable to answer. So it's not intelligent. See, world is world. What is the difference whether it is a real world or imaginary world? You say imaginary and you are ignoring the very word imagination. The meaning lies in the very word imagination. Imagine is not world. How can you say imaginary world? See, by using an image, by calling a word world, you are equating with the normal world. Imaginary world made it secondary, ignored it. Imaginary world, real world, world is a world, what difference does it make? That means the real imaginary words are skipped. They are made secondary. This is called a clever argument. See, world, you take world and call it real. World means actual existence. It doesn't exist. It is imaginary, means without really existing there, you are seeing your own, you are only imagining. That means your own thought. I gave you an example of a mirror. You are seeing your own reflection. You are not seeing another person. See, in a mirror, you see your own reflection. Seeing your own reflection, is it equal to seeing another person? He says whether it is his argument, whether it is a reflection or a real person, what difference does it make? You are seeing a person. This is called cleverness. In cleverness, the open distinction is ignored and equated superficially, imposing the equality in it. You are imposing the similarity in it by ignoring the open fact. Ignoring the open fact by your cleverness, you twist it and equate it. This is called argument. Therefore, to be liar, you don't need facts, you need cleverness. Isn't it? You need a lot of cleverness to twist the facts. So here, Shankaracharya's reply is, dream once you say external world is left out. Now what you are imagining is yourself alone. It's not from outside. So imagined also you, seer also is you. When you are seeing yourself, there is no world outside. Here, is there a cleverness or only simply pointing out the fact? There is no cleverness, you are only pointing out the fact. This is the strength of Shankaracharya. Anubhava is the strength. They find out. So people think that in Vedanta you need lot of cleverness, lot of intelligence. Somebody says you have to be a big mathematician, you have to be a very logical thinker. In fact, unfortunately, post-Shankarites made Vedanta into logic subject only. Logical only. Even now, record is going on. Even now they are running around, they are angry with Satchidananda Swamiji, all these post-Shankarites followers. They are unable to talk to him. Swamiji's strength is simple, Anubhava and Shankara, that's all. Whatever argument he brings, he just points out. They get angry, they try to twist it again, try to intelligently, they try to bring another argument, and again Swamiji points out the same thing. Even now they say they are simply boycotting, they don't want to talk about Satchidananda Swamiji. They don't want to talk about Satchidananda Swamiji as if he doesn't exist, and they discuss themselves. Why? You bring him, they are unable to answer. They are unable to answer. Because his strength is not cleverness like them, they keep on twisting. Because they studied only logic only. They brought logic so much into, they imported logic so much into Vedanta. Swamiji himself says, Vedanta has entered into a topic of logic, entered into the subject of logic, it has become another Tarka Shastra only. Vedanta has become another Tarka Shastra only. Then people say, but you are also arguing, why are you against Tarka Shastra? One fellow was still another blackmailing me, another sannyasi from Kashi. Oh, aap tark se dar gaye Swamiji? In Hindi he was talking to me. I said, this unnecessary tarka is waste. It is unnecessarily diverting the topic. So he says, aap tark se dar gaye Swamiji? Means you are afraid of logic? He says. See, this is emotional blackmail. Emotional pressure. You are afraid of logic? First thing is, it is a topic of anubhava. Why do you bring logic unnecessary? It is only examining your anubhava. Examine. A narrow anubhava is defeated by larger anubhava. That larger anubhava is defeated by still larger anubhava. Larger means unwavering anubhava. One anubhava, smaller anubhava fails. Beyond certain point it fails. Larger anubhava, it applies even to the larger area. And still larger, ultimately, the absolute anubhava exists all the time, all conditions, all places. It doesn't fail. This is simple Vedanta. Now, I told why bring this unnecessary. I told in 10th century when Gangeshopadhyaya created this logic in order to argue with Buddhists. Buddhists were experts in logic. So in order to counteract them, he created an artificial logic of saying the same thing round and round and round. You don't say these things straight away. You explain it round and round. That kind of a new logic was created. It is called Navina Tarka. Navina Nyaya traditionally in 10th century, Gangeshopadhyaya created it. That didn't exist in Shankaracharya's time. Shankaracharya was previous to 10th century. And 10th century is created. After 10th century, whatever Vedantic book comes, most of them, leaving out a few exceptions, most of the books are filled with this logic only. That's why Swamiji says Vedanta has entered into logic subject. It has become another branch of Tarka Shastra. That's why people cannot understand. They say you have to study Tarka first, master Tarka, master logic and come here. You can't teach Vedanta, you have to study. Then people have to be highly intelligent to be able to master the Tarka. Only intelligent people are fit for Vedanta. Other common people are only worldly people, or only you can do some bhajana and go. We won't teach you Vedanta, they say. You are not fit for Vedanta. You do some bhajan, some parayana you do, Lalita Sahasranama parayana and go away. Next janma, you will be born as an intelligent man to be able to argue, and then we'll teach you Vedanta. Pray that you will be born as a logician. Next janma will teach you Vedanta. That's what happened. So it is not Shankara's. Even now you talk to the people. Not only non-Advaitins say, Shankara was very logical, very great in his logic. Even Advaitins claim Shankaracharya was a great logician. Both of them are misrepresenting because they want to praise Shankaracharya as great, not because they have appreciated greatness of Shankaracharya. They have a great value for logic. You understand? They have a value for logic. They feel logic is great. So whatever point you think is great, and if you want to praise Shankaracharya, Shankara is great in this thing. Because you think logic is great. Therefore Shankaracharya is a logician. If Shankaracharya is not a great logician, you think that, how can such a great Shankaracharya is not logician? Because I feel logic alone is great. So you have to put Shankaracharya under logic because you like logic. This is how they did it. Okay. We'll leave this deviation. We'll come to the topic. So, body, if you identify with the body, birth and death you have. Through body alone you have a birth and death. But in dream you are free from birth and death. How? Mrityo rupani atikramati. He transcends, crosses beyond the mrityu rupa, the forms of death. What are the forms of death? Body. It is the body that is the form of the death. Through body alone you have a birth and death. How do you transcend the death? Only by giving up the body. See, this is the simple and straight thing. It is the body that is subject to time. It is the body that is subject to change. If you identify with the body, all the bodily conditions appear upon you. All the bodily conditions get imported to you, imposed upon you. Then you will worry. Then as long as you retain your identification with the body, birth and death becomes inevitable. You can't get rid of. However you try, you can't get rid of. Then they try to do that. Body has to live longer. Then you have to say that operation, heart operation, liver operation. Then you say, if heart has become so much damaged that you cannot operate it, borrow others' body, others' heart. Somehow you want to live. All that because you want to make body immortal. You want to make body immortal. That you want immortal, we accept it. That is good. That you want to be immortal is very good. Your wish is very good that you want to become immortal. But the path you have taken through the body alone is wrong. Your wish for immortality is very good, appreciable. But that cannot be fulfilled if you go through body. Because body is by nature mortal. It's going to die. It is subject to change. It can't be made immortal. Anyway, they are trying to make it. I think they will change artificial heart, artificial liver, artificial lungs, artificial so many they will, scientists are trying to do. And I think a time will come, they will make so many changes in the body that you will become another robot. Another robot with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, they will put one CD in you. They will put one CD in your brain. And then you will become an artificial person, almost like a robot alone. If liver is changed, they will put an artificial liver, artificial this. Everything is artificial, even brain is artificial, your intelligence is artificial. Then what will remain? There will be only robots will be born. Hereafter they won't be born in the hospital. They won't be born to the parents. They will be born from a factory. Robots. All human beings come from factories alone. More robots will come. Only robots will be living in the earth. With artificial intelligence and robot shape. And he will also, go to the picnic and jump and dance and everything, come back home and eat food and then do. All these things he will do. Ultimately, they want immortality through body. This will happen. Then there won't be human being at all. There won't be Atma. There will be only dead things, machines alone running. Anyway, that's how scientists are doing it. Anyway, so here, Mrityoha Rupani Atikramati. Portion is big. Certain new, deeper arguments are there, deeper explanations. Otherwise, if I do quickly, things can't be understood. Mrityo Rupani transcending, crossing the form of death. Means, as long as in waking you are identified with the body. Therefore, you are subject to birth and death. How do you transcend it? By only detaching from the body. Only when you understand, you are Swayam Jyoti. Atrayam Purusha Swayam Jyotihi. By examining the dream, you understand you are a Swayam Jyoti. Here, one more point. Atma is self-shining in the dream. By this statement, don't understand that Atma is self-shining only in dream and not in waking. Dream is only an area for you to examine. But after examining, what you discover is the Atma, self-shining Atma in all the three states. It is not in dream alone. Even in waking, the same Atma. Even in deep sleep, the same Atma. Therefore, dream is only helping you, a helping conducive atmosphere, because the examination becomes easy. Examining the Atma as independent of the body becomes easier in dream, because the body is not interfering in your observation. In your examination, body and sense organs are not interfering. It becomes easy, straight way to understand the Atma. Therefore, dream is only a conducive atmosphere, but it doesn't prove that that self-shining Atma, independent of body and sense organs, is present only in dream and not in waking. Once you discover Atma is independent of body and sense organs, it is present throughout. It is present all the time. Therefore, atikramati mrityo rupani iti kramena sancharan ihaloka paralokadi vyatiriktaha. Therefore, Atma goes to this loka and other loka. This loka and other loka independent of the body. Because when Atma goes to this loka and then leaves this loka and goes to the other loka, that loka also leaves. What does it mean? Means he is not stuck to the loka, he is not bound by the loka. Lokas come and go, he remains stationary. Lokas appear in his anubhava. Even waking state also. We generally think we move around in the waking state. We move around various towns and cities and countries we travel. In fact, you are not traveling. Shall I tell you? Consciousness, witnessing consciousness, the Sakshi is stationary. Cities are coming and showing themselves up and go away. Like watching the TV. Like the watching TV, you are not traveling. Things appear and go and appear and go. Similarly, all the cities and all the people, all the events appear in your consciousness and go out of consciousness. Appear in consciousness, go out of consciousness. Therefore, you are not traveling. Events are coming and going, but you remain the same. This way we have to understand. Therefore, you sancharan. By going from dream to waking, all the dream to waking, waking to dream in all the states, you are free from the body. That is to be understood. So, Sahasram Dadami, Atma Ivayam, then we'll go to the next mantra. 12:10. In the next mantra, I think 15th, just a minute, 9 to 15th. (9 to 14), 15 to 18, still in dream only. We are still examining dream only. Now we examine the states, waking, dream and deep sleep, all the three states. Only Swayam Jyoti in dream, that point was emphasized. Now we say how he moves from one state to other state. From waking to sleep, sleep to dream, dream to matte waking, waking to this thing. In all the three states, he doesn't remain in any one state permanently. When he is in a given state, he goes through all the various experiences. But there, does he go through those experiences? Does he go through means what? Does he really undergo the experiences? Does he stick to the experiences? Or are they just passing experiences like a cloud comes and goes? Does cloud stick to the sky? Clouds come. They come, stay for a while. Sometimes they don't go at all. Keep on sticking for a long time and then leave. Clouds come. Do the clouds taint the sky? They can't. Smoke also rises in the sky. Here you light a fire. You ignite a fire and the smoke rises, goes away afterwards, it disappears. So does smoke stick to the sky? Does a cloud stick to the sky? It doesn't. Similarly here, whichever state you are, all the states are tentative. Clouds are smoke in you. You are like a Akasha. You are like the sky. The Sakshi, Swayam Prakasha Atma is like a sky. In you the waking world appears, waking body, waking sense organs, waking mind, waking world appears like a cloud and just goes away. Then the dream appearances come. They also go away. In deep sleep there is a blankness. That also blank also goes away. So that consciousness remains throughout. So, in spite of passing, now when you are passing through states, two questions. Do you really undergo those experiences? Second, do they stick to you? If they stick to you after going through waking experience, when you go to sleep or dream, a part of waking should come with you. It won't come. It won't come at all. Not even a smallest particle. Smallest particle also can't be carried. It's like a reflection in a mirror. First one reflection comes. Then that reflection goes, another comes. How much of the previous reflection sticks to the mirror? A small thing. Supposing you saw a red object, very bright red, dark red object. Dark red cloth like this. It's a dark red cloth. You kept it for a long time in front of the mirror. Afterwards, white cloth you bring it. Do you see the pure white cloth, or do you see a tinge of red color? And if you see the red color, you say, see, so far there was a red cloth here. Therefore, after it has gone, this next white cloth is only carrying a little bit, because the mirror is carrying that little bit of tinge, a small tinge of red color. Does it carry like that? As it moves away, instantly there is no color. Similarly, Atma is like a mirror. States are like reflections in the mirror. This point emphasizes, he teaches from which mantra? 15th to 18th. 15th, Asangoyam Purushaha. Earlier, Atrayam Purusha Swayam Jyotihi. In examining the waking, Atmaiva Jyotihi, this sentence was the main in examining the waking state. First 5 mantras, 5 or 6 mantras. Then the 7th mantra onwards, Atma Atrayam Purusha Swayam Jyotihi, examining the dreams, and then Atma is Swayam Jyoti. This point is expounded. Now comes from the 15th onward. It is all 3 states are taken, but asangoyam, ananvagatasthenaha asangohyayam purushaha. Now next Mahavakya is asangoyam. See, the essential point is asangoyam purushaha from 15th mantra to 18th mantra. In these 4 mantras, what is revealed is Asangoyam Purushaha. Atma is Asanga, like a mirror. Like a mirror. All the 3 states keep coming and going, keep coming and going. In these things, what is to be watched is, even while you are in waking or in dream or any one state, in whichever state you are not deeply involved in them. Even while you are in waking state, they are superficially present in you, like in mirror. Even when the reflection is right now seen in the mirror, even at the time of seeing the reflection, the mirror surface itself is untouched by what is seen there. What is seen, you put a red cloth there. Even while the red cloth is reflected, you look at the mirror, it is still untouched. So asangohi ayam purushaha is asanga, uninvolved, untouched. That is the point he is explaining. Asango hyayam purushaha. Second thing is, while experiencing a given state, you don't become a part of the state. You don't really undergo the experience. You don't become part of the state. You don't really undergo the experience. Third point is, when you leave, nothing you carry with you, nothing sticks to you. Even if you don't carry, at least the dust particles also don't stick to you. Do they stick? A little particle? Waking dust particles. Nothing sticks. If it sticks after waking, if you go to the dream, or from dream to waking, one state to another state, people would recognize you. Oh, you are coming from waking state. I can see you on your body, some particles of waking as you have carried it. Nobody can see, because nothing can be carried. Therefore, all the states are equally like a dream objects. Waking is also a dream object, dream is also dream objects, and in deep sleep there is nothing blank, it appears as if there is a blank, even that is a dream object only. All of them are like a dream, imaginary things. Therefore, you are not a part of a state, even while experiencing. You are not experiencing you are not experiencing the objects and pain and pleasure and such things. And while leaving also, nothing sticks to you, because you have not experienced it, therefore it doesn't stick to you. It doesn't stick to you because even while experiencing, you didn't go through it. If you have really gone through it, then some part will remain. You put some oil on a what you call spoon. Even after you take out the oil, and then it's still little bit sticky. It sticks little bit, like a honey or oil. However, you wipe out, little bit remains. Similarly, after leaving the waking, does a part remain with you? Or you remain purely asanga? This point, asangoyam purushaha, is explained by observing the 3 states from 15 to 18. I think we will see. My leg is also not allowing me. No, this also doesn't allow me. Anyway, we'll see tomorrow only. 15 to 18. And 19th onwards, Sushupti begins. 19th Sushupti. From 19 onwards, Sushupti. So tomorrow, I think it will be over in fast in half an hour. Tomorrow we will begin 19th also. Sushupti also we will begin. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru.